many of us, and I suspect that you have an equally compelling story, probably entered in our profession without a great deal of thought or planning. But mine was fairly simple. We are in a unique position to give back to our community. My first involvement in the political world, I suppose, was being active in the PTA. And my wife and I decided early on we wanted to influence the public policy to the extent we could, and particularly focusing on education of our children. I met a young man there who told me one night, he said, "I'm going to run for the Board of Supervisors in Henrico County, and I need someone to help me." What are CPAs always asked to do? Be treasurer, right? He said, "Will you be my treasurer?" I said, "Of course, I'll be glad to." I didn't know what I was supposed to do, but I said, "Of course, I'll do it." So I started by becoming treasurer in a campaign, and I saw it unfold. I saw how difficult it is. I followed his career, and by the way, he's still on the Board of Supervisors in Henrico County, been there for 40 years, I guess. But in any event, I saw the sacrifice, I saw the commitment that's required, but I also saw that people in public office can do some good. Now, fast forward, back in the 80s, I guess it was, we were called upon to do battle with an issue dealing with unlicensed accountants. That was kind of the term we used when we wanted to talk about bookkeepers. And they were beginning to become more empowered in Virginia. And I think there was a bill saying before the legislature that would allow them to do audits, as I recall. They could do virtually everything we could do. The legislature or legislators really did not understand our profession. So someone from the society asked me to go down to the Capitol. I'd never been there before. They asked me to talk to legislators. I'd never seen one before that I know of. And I had to lobby, or at least talk about, some unique issues about our profession. And I saw firsthand how it's important that we become involved, because that issue could have been devastating to our profession over the years, because there have been no distinction between those of us who hold a CPA license and the franchise that goes with that protects our services as independent auditors, and those of unlicensed practitioners. So I think that was successful. Along about the same time, Governor Dalton, who was a mentor of mine, along with that same supervisor who I'd served as treasurer of, came to me and says, "Stosch, we'd like for you to run for the House of Delegates." I said, "Why would I want to do that?" And he said something that was profound. He said, "Look, it's because you've been given these opportunities. It's because your children have taken advantage of a public school system that's educated them well and will take advantage of our public colleges and universities. It's because you've been in a commonwealth where your business and others of your clients are prospered. It's because of all of that you have a duty to give back." I found out that an ordinary person like me, someone with our background in particular, can do a lot of good in the legislative process. One of the greatest preparations I've ever had for public life has been my career in public accounting. So much of what we do turns on knowing how to communicate financial data, knowing how to prepare analyses, knowing how to communicate, some of those things that we learn early on in our profession. So those of you who are considering, or have considered but not yet accepted the call, I hope you will consider this, that if an ordinary person like me can find an opportunity to serve the community for 30 years, and I think effectively, and to serve our profession, you can do even more. I hope you will accept the call as I have to at least give back something of the great benefits and the great resources that we've been given through our profession. And the experience and knowledge that we have, there's a great need for you to provide that in the arena of helping other people. So I encourage you to do that. Thanks again for letting me be with you.